I
And I'm
mean,
like, okay, no,
okay.
I understand when I'm being insulted. Thank you very much. And now I'm extra mad. No, you should let, because I get that. I've gotten it for the past fucking as long as that series has been out. Oh, you like the Big Bang Theory, right? You're a geek. No. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss by wire. Baby, my heart's on fire. If you refuse me, honey, you'll lose me. And you'll be left alone. Oh, baby, telephone and tell me I'm your own. Hey guys, y'all know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and
That's
why
my
we're
top
here
hat.
today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent, big ugly himself, Omari Ellis feogrande on YouTube, Pete on this show, and I am here with yet another episode of the Whatever We Want podcast. And as usual, I am here today joined by he who bears watching, the one and only Superjaz.
As nature intended. Before I say something, it could just be me, but it sounds like every time you talk, there's a little bit of like extra, like not like a hum, but like some type of sound or something. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Anyway, yes. As he said, everyone, yes, I am the other host of the show. You can call me as he did, Super Jazz. You can call me Jazz, SJ, JT, whatever you want, what have you in the like. And as he also said, this is the Whatever We Want podcast, where we do just that. We talk about whatever we want. We do not lead the conversation. The conversation leads us, and we let the chips fall where they may.
Every Wednesday.
Word. Well, what we gonna talk about today, then, man? And at the end of the episode, this isn't like we just like what are we gonna talk about next time?
Whatever we want.
And then the whole episode is like fucking less than a minute. Like,
so what we wanted to talk about this week was nothing.
was not a damn thing. Just like, so what did y'all want to talk about? Like the people who do watch the show. And then the new people, like people who are just discovering the show, would see the time and be like, 2 minutes, a podcast for 2 minutes. Like imagine if you were scrolling through something and you found a podcast with a few subscribers, not a lot of views, okay, whatever. And then you look and you saw it and you were like, wait, the reason why they ain't got a lot of views is because their podcast episode is 2 minutes. The fuck are they talking about for 2 minutes? And it's just the intros and then the closeout. It'd be like, well, you be what's the word? Like almost like want to leave a comment to help. Be like, you might be able to accomplish more, guys, if y'all actually talked about anything, literally anything. It's like what's that shit? What they say? Seinfeld was the show about nothing.
Yes.
Yes, but obviously it was about something.
Yeah, it's about Jerry Seinfeld and the strangers doing whatever the fuck they want.
But you know why they said it was a show about nothing, right?
Yeah, because general premise is just kind of like living, doing whatever.
It was about living, but it was more so that they said it was about nothing because they were always trying, like it was always about the mundane, like it was about the absurdity in the mundane because they would be trying to do something exciting, and along the way to doing something exciting, some wild shit would happen. Like I remember I saw one episode. Actually, now that I'm older, I should go back and look at a lot more episodes of Seinfeld because it was a really good show. I think it had like 9 fucking seasons, some shit like that. But anyway, no, I remember one episode. It was about them going to a party. Like they never got to the party, but the whole episode was about we're trying to get to the party. So it was all that bullshit about trying to get to a party.
Well,
So
I remember there was an episode where either George or Elaine was looking for a way to get to a Chinese restaurant, and they asked a post office, a mail worker, a mailman. However, the mailman was Asian. So he took offense to that
Yeah,
Like, oh, I'm Chinese, so I should
I
know
figured that's
where
what you were
all
gonna
the
say.
Chinese food restaurant things are. And they just kept like yelling about it. And the rest of the episode, they're like, what? No, I like Chinese people. They were a postman. What am I supposed to do? And I just think about like how stuff like that pops up in this day and age. And just seeing Jerry Seinfeld being like, people are too sensitive in this time and age, and blah, 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 blah. You can't say anything without somebody tearing you apart. And I'm like, wow, he was saying that in the 90s on an episode aside. Can
Oh,
you
he was
imagine
saying that.
nowadays?
Yeah. That sounds like something that it was probably George saying it was a giant. It's like that was probably George saying it because that's some shit that he would say. Like I remember seeing, I don't remember the whole episode, but I remember seeing a piece of the episode where it was like he had just got out of a pool, he was
Shrinkage.
changing. Yeah, and a woman walked in on him, and she was all like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And then looked down, I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, no. And he's like, I just got out of the pool. Oh shit. Um, you know, that's something that I've said before. And I really do miss the multi-camera sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the last big, I may have said on another episode, but I feel like the last big multicam sitcom was Big Bang Theory.
Sure. I hate that show.
Oh no. No.
I hate that show. I don't feel like being insulted for like 30 minutes a week.
How are they insulting you? Just because they use smart dialogue doesn't mean that it's insulting.
That whole show is about let's talk about geek culture and shit and make fun of how stupid these motherfuckers look. Oh, they think they're so high and mighty because they're smart or whatever. And no, people at home, I'm not saying I feel insulted because they talk about smart people and make fun of smart people. I'm a fucking idiot. I'll take it. I'll take that. I'll hold that L. But, well, I mean, whatever. I was gonna be like, oh, the two of us. I'm the one who didn't graduate from college, but then I remember you didn't either. So.
I was about to say, what the fuck? You went to more college than I did. I went to half the.
Which was a stupid decision because now I've got all that college debt. My point is exactly. So, what'd you say?
I said full circle. You may have won. Anyway, Big Bang Theory, you're rant.
It was one of those things where they package it as if, hey, geeky kids and stuff, we're laughing with you, right? Haha. It's funny how you do that kind of stuff, right? But at the end of the day, it's just a thing where the whole point of the show is, look at these fucking losers. Aren't they fucking stupid? Isn't it fun to make fun of these losers? Ha! They like video games. Ha! They like this. Oh, there's a chick in the room, but these guys are all so fucking wrapped up in their geekiness and stuff. They might as well be asexual because they're not paying attention to her at all. And let's not mention the fact that the main female character is literally, they try to play her up role-wise. I'm not saying she's not a good actress or whatever because I don't watch enough of the fucking show to evaluate her acting skills, but I'm going to assume she's a fantastic actress.
Shout out to Kaylee Cuoco.
That said, they often use the whole like, oh, like they have numerous jokes where the guys are doing something and she's like, but I have boobs, and then they ignore them, and the joke is, haha, look at these fucking non-libido having ass geeks. They don't even notice that there's boobs in the room. Ha 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 ha. It's so fucking stupid, and I hate it. I hate the show as a whole. I think Sheldon is the most annoying thing on the fucking planet. I hate that they made a side show for Sheldon. Yes.
Okay, I don't want to interrupt you. Keep going.
I've never been a fan. Like, what was it? I want to say it was something where they were. I remember being mad, but I can't even tell you.
I just remember details. I was mad. I don't remember what it was. I just remember.
But no, I was never a fan of Big Bang Theory. Man, I get it. I get that it's a funny show because, yes, it's fun to make fun of geeky people because, haha, they don't have real lives. They like geeky shit. Haha, isn't that funny? No. It's not.
So you say you take offense to that because you self-proclaim as a geek. and you think
I'm no self-proclaimed. You can look around me and tell that I'm geeky.
I'm not saying
You can just
you're
look in
not
the
right.
fucking
No, yes, of
background.
course.
Now you can look in the background and see other aspects of adult human life, like alcohol. But at
Well,
the end
no,
of the
yeah,
day,
yeah.
I do like geeky shit and am unashamedly doing that. I'm wearing a freaking fighting game tournament shirt, for crying out loud.
Right. No, no. And I definitely
I'm
I
also
got some
wearing a sports hat. It's like, hey, geeks can like other stuff. Because I'm pretty sure whenever sports come up, they go, ew, sports too. Like, they're about the most stereotypical of stereotypical geek person. They're like, we don't have any interest normal people like. We like MMOs and RPGs and also we think we're better than you because we're smart. And I don't think I'm better than anybody
they don't think
because
they're
I
better
might
than
have a.
you.
You don't. Sheldon does not think he's better than anybody.
Well, Sheldon is purposefully an odd case.
And they all do
Purposefully.
it. The fucking other two. There's Sheldon Leonard and then the stereotypes of stereotypes that are the other two. Like they're also
Howard and Raj.
yeah. Raj is its own can of worms because then you throw in racial stereotypes on top of the fact that he's a geek.
Here and there,
And
yeah.
Howard is like, I think he's sleazy himself. I think that's the closest thing you could come to. No, they don't
He
say they
thinks he's a
don't have
ladies' man.
libidos. Clearly, you got this Howard guy where it's
He ends
literally
up
played up for laughs like, look at this loser. Ain't no way he could ever get a woman in real life. He's into books. But that's the
he ends,
joke. He
he
thinks
ends
he's
up
a
getting a
ladies'
woman,
man.
but like
Well,
he
they
ends up
all
actually.
do because eventually they had to do something. But the
Well, I was gonna
whole
say
premise of the show is what I
Howard's
don't like.
thing was Howard like thought he was a ladies' man and like tried to be like, ooh, I'm a ladies' man, so yeah. Nothing that you said for the most part is wrong. Yes, the show is very much played up as a stereotype, a hyper. It's in a lot of ways they take the hyperbole of the geek stereotype and the awkwardness and they play it up. But no, it is played up like that to be because the whole premise was two socially awkward geniuses move across the hall from the hot chick. That was the fucking premise of the fucking show. Yeah. I've looked at interviews, and for the most part, they said that's like, bam, there you go.
They successfully insult everybody's intelligence by framing it as, haha, we're laughing with you, when it is just laughing at these people. And I'm like, okay, no, I understand when I'm being insulted. Thank you very much. And now I'm extra mad. No, you should because I get that. I've gotten it for the past fucking as long as that series has been out. Oh, you like the Big Bang Theory, right? You're a geek. No.
I like the show because of the fact that it's like it's such like smart humor and they make like dumbass jokes with like within the smart dialogue they'll make a so-called dad joke. And that's why I really ended up enjoying the show. Honestly, I watched every episode of that show except all of the last season because I watched like the first like 2 or 3 episodes of the last season, and for it to be your like final season, it didn't have no finality. And I was like, but it was because, I mean, spoiler alert, if there is anything to spoil by now, but it was because they had done everything. Like by the season right before the last season, even Sheldon had gotten a woman who was perfect for him, and he got married to her. So it was like fucking Penny wanted to be a successful actor and stuff wasn't working out, but she became a successful businesswoman. It was like they had nothing left to do. Raj couldn't talk to women without drinking alcohol because he had some shit. And then he got to the point where he got over it. It was like there was nothing to do. So the last season, they couldn't do shit. So that's why the last few episodes, like I watched the first few episodes of the last season and I didn't finish it because I was like, there was no finality, but it was like, because it was like, basically, again, I don't know how the series fully ended, but the series finale felt like it happened the season before the last season with Sheldon's wedding. Because that's the one thing we thought would never happen, and he did it. So it's like, well, where the fuck do we go from here? But no, anyway, that's a whole little side tangent. But no, everything you said is like, to an extent accurate. I don't take it as necessarily insulting, but I mean, depending on who you ask, I definitely have been classified as like nerdy and geeky for most of my life, and I'm into nerdy, geeky type shit. For all intents and purposes, I joked about this with my brother, but for all intents and purposes, battle rap should be geeky shit because of the fact that it's so niche, but it's too many street dudes involved in battle rap that it can't be geeky. Because there's way too many dudes who are about that life.
Well,
Like
it's like
for
people
real.
that argue that fantasy sports is geeky because you have to do a lot of studying to like be good at it. Or
Or
like
like fantasy
following
football.
stories, or like just people that are like, "Oh, your stats jockeys in sports are all geeky and stuff too," even if they don't want to admit it because they have to devote a lot of time to shit that literally does not matter aside for entertainment purposes.
Well, fantasy football in a sense isn't necessarily geeky. But I mean,
I'm
there's
saying the
like
people that like do. I'm saying
no,
there's
I
the
know you're not.
argument that people make. No, it's not geeky. It's sports. That's clearly a
I know you're
different
not saying.
category. But
No, you're
people
not.
make that argument.
But I was gonna say like, but there's like geeky aspects in damn near anything. Like I
Hmm.
guess I guess like the geeky side of almost anything is like just heavily studying heavily studying it and heavily studying like the ins and outs that are, for all intents and purposes innocuous, like knowing, all kind of like ins and outs of all types of stuff and following everything to a T and shit like that. It doesn't necessarily mean, too much here and there type of shit. Um, but no, I never looked at Big Bang Theory as like, I guess, being insulting, but I don't know. There you go. But I mean, it's not the first show, not that it makes it better, I guess, but it's not the first show or movie to be like, ooh, look at the nerds, trying to woo
Remember
the
Revenge
sexy
of the
girl.
Nerds?
Never saw it, but I know what you're talking about.
But you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're
Revenge of
talking
the
about.
Nerds.
Yeah.
And I feel like Big Bang Theory is that, but a TV show.
That's what I'm saying. I've never seen it, so I can't fully say yes. But from what I would assume, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I will say that it's funny that you say, but I mean, if if you hate everything about the show, it makes sense why you would hate Sheldon to a T because Sheldon is like the fucking epitome of the show in one character. But it's just
It's
funny
like
that you hate
every
Sheldon.
insert you can think of, oh, every insult you can
And
think
so
of, or stereotype for that character type is embodied in Sheldon.
that's why I was like, he's the epitome of the show. So if you hate the show, you really gonna hate him. It's just funny that you hate him because the show in and of itself, the breakout star was Jim Parsons because of his portrayal of Sheldon. Like, so it's just so
Hmm.
funny
Oh yeah,
that
great
you.
actor, blah blah blah. Although I think once he did the Sheldon thing, they decided to start casting him as Sheldon and other stuff that he showed up in.
I never saw him. I saw him in a few other things. I never saw him like necessarily cast as Sheldon and other stuff. Like I remember he was in the Muppets movie with Amy Adams and Jason Segel. Um, and he was the human version of the Walter puppet, which is funny. It was a cameo. He was one of the dudes in Hidden Figures that, and he was honestly playing like very like straightforward and low key. But he was like one of the people in the office that
What's Hidden Figures?
the movie with Taraji P Henson and god, there was some other black women in there.
Oh, is that the movie that black women can be smart too? And I'm not saying that they're not right about that, but I'm saying that was the premise of the movie. Like, because she was
I
in
mean,
the
if you
civil
put
rights
it in
time.
them terms,
No, I'm saying it was civil rights time. Both black people in general were looked down upon, but especially black women when it came to stuff like NASA. And they're like, no, see, we're smarter than all of you, actually. And it's
yeah,
true. It's based on a real story, to my
yeah,
knowledge, and that's awesome.
yeah. But
That's
yes, yeah,
awesome.
he was in that movie for a little bit, right? That's why I say I never saw
Wasn't he
him.
like some super smart person that was also
No,
like,
no, no. That's what I'm saying. He was just one of the people like in the offices that was helping the like NASA type shit, but it wasn't. So I
so
mean,
he
I
was
guess
only a
I
space
guess
scientist. He
I
wasn't a
guess
super
no.
nerd.
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. I guess to get in the building, he would have had to have been smart to an extent. But to be on like the level of Taraji P. Henson's character, no, he was not that level.
Well, yeah,
To
nobody was.
And to be on the level of like Sheldon and shit, of course not, obviously. He definitely wasn't acting like Sheldon, in like the awkward, like weird, damn near Aspergery type of, movements and shit that people try to say.
I used to think it was Asperger's, and I used to think it was an insult. Look at this guy. This guy's got Asperger's. And I'm like, what are Asperger's?
There's definitely an Asperger's. It's in there.
Yeah, it's ASPER, GERS. But GERS.
Spell the most complicated part.
Because I'm spelling the part that the confusion comes from. It's Asperger's. Yeah. And it wasn't until a TV show starring Dak Shepard?
Dak Shepard.
That sounds like a name of somebody. I'm pretty sure it was Dak Shepard.
Married to Kristen Bell, I believe.
Yes, him.
Kind of tall guy.
That guy, yeah. He on an episode was talking about something, and I guess he didn't want to mention that he suspected some kid of having it, but eventually he just yells, he's like, he's got Asperger's! And as the kid's coming downstairs to hear this, and I'm like, damn, that's rude to just say the man's got Asperger's. He's a kid. What's he got to be upset about? What's he got Asperger's about? And I'm like, oh, no. Asperger's. It's a type of autism.
Right. It's not necessary. I mean, it could be insulting to just assume it about someone, but it's not insulting to just.
But I thought Asperger's was kind of like, they got to stick up their ass type thing, They pay way too much attention to details. Oh, that guy's got Asperger's.
They eat food in a they eat their dinner in a suppository like fashion. Hey, let's go to five. Hey, you want to go to Five Guys? Not with you.
I'm sorry. It's a very serious condition.
It should be.
It's a very serious condition. I'm more making fun of the fact that I'm stupid and I don't pay attention to what words actually are.
Yes,
just ask Mr. Bears watching over here. I don't understand colloquialisms and common terms. Back to my whole, no, I'm not a smart person, so it wasn't the fact that they're making fun of smart people on Big Bang Theory. It was more so the geeky side.
We're making fun of the mispronunciation of the word, not the word or different
We're making fun of me because I don't think right.
I remember I had to do this was years ago when I first really started getting into like auditioning for like plays and shit like that. Which I mean, I believe I'm a much better actor now. Hopefully I am if I've been doing it for a while. But I'm a much better actor now than I was, but even more so better at auditioning too. Well, no. I'm a better auditioner and even more better at acting. But either way, I did an audition some years back. Probably damn near 10 years ago now. Fuck yeah, because I'm 31. 9 years ago, some shit like that. I did an audition for some shit, and it was supposed to be like this girl was into me, but my character was supposed to be like socially awkward. They said to the extent of Asperger's. The funny thing was at the time, I didn't really know what Asperger's necessarily meant. Or even more so how I could portray that type of shit in the audition. Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to be like me and this girl, I think we had known each other for a minute. And she liked my character, but I obviously, I didn't read social cues, so I didn't know. And I went in there, man, I look back and I'm just like, oh my God, I did not have a fucking good audition. Oh man.
It's okay. I had to audition for and I think I've mentioned this in the past, I had to audition for the Who's On First thing, having never heard the skit. And so I was legit confused reading.
You said something about Who's On First. I don't know if you
it was for a one act of Abbott and Costello's, and I guess for that one act they were doing the Who's On First thing. Mm-hmm. And I was one of the first people to go up on stage that day for the audition for that particular thing and read from that. And sure enough, I'm just, who's on Who's on first? What? No, okay, so who's on first? I'm like legit confused reading these lines because I had never fucking heard it. I'm as confused as Costello is pretending to be. I'm actually confused, but I'm supposed to be Abbott in this, the straight man that's like saying this, but I didn't understand that. The whole premise of who's on first is
If
there's
you
a
don't know by
guy,
now,
like these are
right?
people's names. Fucking who, and they're playing baseball. You got who's playing first base. I believe, I don't know, is on third base. And is what on second?
I think what is on second, I don't know, is on third base. And then it goes like further down the whole thing because it's basically like the people's names are answers to the question and make it seem like he don't know like what he's talking about.
Exactly.
But it's
Who's on
actually
first? That's what I'm trying to figure out. But I wasn't the confused guy that's like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm reading the guy that knows, that the character knows for a fact that these are these people's names. And it wasn't until we were almost done with it that I'm like, oh shit, these were these people's names.
I will say, now I mean, I granted I was, younger. And this time when I say younger, I mean like kid young, like probably like 10, 11 type of shit. When I first heard who's on first. And it was one of those things where until I had it explained to me, I don't think it's explicitly stated in the skit that they're the names of the people. So it's one of those things where it's like, if you can infer, duh. But if you can't really infer or you're not really paying attention, I don't think it's fully like stated that no shit who is the first base player. Like I don't think it's so. I think it's one of the things where it's like, yeah, but it's like who's on first? The guy with the ball. Like what? Yes, the guy with the ball. Like who's on first? Like that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it's like what? No, what's on second? What is on second? It's like that shit. Abbott and Costello, like, what was the fucking shit? Like Siegfried and Roy, Abbott and Costello, remind me of that shit.
Yeah, Siegfried and Roy, Abbott and Costello, Magic and Kareem, or Penn and Teller. Somebody's in
In
trouble.
trouble.
Oh, here it goes.
How did you know?
Nick,
Wait. Everybody out there, go run and tell your homeboys, homegirls, it's time for Keenan and Kel. They keep you laughing in the afternoon, so don't touch that dial or leave the room. And how did she go? Oh shit! No.
There's a line in there, something about Keenan be scheming. You gotta watch Keenan because Keenan.
But it was like
scheming,
some double trouble, and you don't want to miss it with a plan or plot. You gotta watch Keenan because Keenan be scheming with a plan or plot to make it to the top. But they always get in trouble, so they always getting caught. This ain't the Hardy Boys or Nancy Drew, Mr. Reed. It's just Keenan and Kel in the vicinity, like Siegfried and Roy, Abbott and Costello, Magic and Kareem, or Penn and Teller. Somebody in trouble. Oh, here it goes. And that was one of the coolest fucking intros to a fucking show. And it was one of the like dopest fucking shows too, man. Fucking talk about a product of his time, Coolio. Fucking Coolio. Coolio did the fucking intro.
Oh, here it goes. Back when Nickelodeon cared, they got the people like Coolio to do Keenan and Kel's theme song. They had TLC doing all that.
Yeah, fucking 702. Was it 702? I think it was. Who like, yeah, bad really if you remember them. But 702 did Cousin Skeeter.
Mm-hmm.
Did you didn't watch Cousin Skeeter for real, did you?
Not nearly enough to know more than the fact that Skeeter was there and he was a puppet that also was somebody's right? Cousin.
Well, yeah. He was a puppet played by Bill Bellamy. Bill Bellamy was in Def Jam's How to Be a Player.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill Bellamy. Yeah, young Megan Good and Robert Richard, who was in One-on-One with who was it, Kyla Pratt later.
Oh, One-on-One in Park.
Anyway, what's his name? Robert Richard, I think ended up becoming like, like damn near like a sex symbol type later, but the man could never really act. Anyway.
Damn. Tell us how you really feel.
Hey, I was not talking shit.
Robert Richard, more like Robert can't act.
Oh. I didn't know where you were going with that joke. What was the TLC though? This is all that. I'll let you do it since I did the level.
Check it. Now this is just an introduction before we blow your mind. The show is all of that, and yes, we do it all the time. So hit your booty on the floor, in the chair, grounder in the air. Just don't go nowhere, cause everything we do is all
We all that.
We're entertaining you,
We all that.
my posse and my crew.
We all that.
So sit still, cause we're coming right back.
This is all. No, you're right. Back when like Nickelodeon, the difference I will say is that now that we are a lot older, so we don't watch Nickelodeon, obviously, so we don't know what the fuck shows are on Nickelodeon right now, except no shit, SpongeBob SquarePants. Because that show will never end. It is the kid show equivalent of The Simpsons, basically. But other than that, we don't know what they playing on Nick. But no, you're right, because all that was the shit. It was seemingly the Nickelodeon's answer of a kid's Saturday Night Live. Even though they never had a guest host, of course, but it had skits and shit like that. And they always had a musical guest that would like play him off and shit, which was the coolest shit in the fucking world.
Yeah, it was literally like a skit show. It was kind of like a Saturday Night Live thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
speaking of stuff we used to watch when we were younger, and also stuff that we've kind of mentioned on this channel numerous times, maybe once or twice, wrestling. Recently, we lost.
And maybe once or
recently,
twice.
we lost Mr. Hall.
Oh, yeah.
Rest in peace. And
by the time this airs, it will have been a few weeks, but... Yeah.
I mean, when we're talking about someone dying, I think a few weeks still counts as recently.
Well, okay. No, you're right. You're right. Because I don't want to come off as though, like, I'm trying to... Yeah, no. You're right. Rest in peace, Scott Hall.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, so he passed, and my roommate had sent me a match on Facebook of him and Sean in the ladder match. And I'm like, this is cool. I was trying to watch it on my phone. My phone wouldn't let me watch it. And I guess I left my phone, like I left the screen open or whatever, and my phone just kind of sitting in my lap. And, you know, I'm like playing games or whatever, leaning, and I hear my phone make some noises like boop, 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 boop. And I'm like, oh, oops, I left my phone open. Click. It don't look like anything happened. Next day, my roommate's like, did you mean to send that match to like 3 or 4 different groups of people? And I'm like, what? Yeah, you sent that to like 3 or 4 different groups of people. So apparently when I lead, I forwarded that Shawn Michaels match to like 3 different groups, each of which involved my roommate. And it was like making the groups too, because some of them was like, one of them involved Bob, which I thought was hilarious, but Bob actually would have enjoyed that match. Big Shawn Michaels fan. Definitely would have saw that in nostalgia. In fact, I believe he replied with a gift that said perfection, because it was a great match. But other people, I'm like, this person, I would never send them a Shawn Michaels thing. Like one of my friends, she's a cosplaying buddy. I'll just call her Riot. She, I doubt, paid any attention to wrestling and probably was like, what the hell is Omari sending me this for?
Right.
Stuff like that. And I'm like, oops. And I think I just replied in each of those groups, oops. All right. If that's all I sent, okay.
Your phone accidentally...
My fat stomach fucking touchscreened the phone, I guess, when it got trapped between it and my, like, thigh. And was just pressing shit. While I was playing, like, 2K or some shit.
Some of your stomach was just pushing buttons.
Yeah, between, like, leaning back and forth and, you know, bouncing the leg and doing shit like that. Bottom line is, well, it's like butt dialing. Usually when you butt dial, you don't scroll through your whole phone to find that one person you just butt dialed. Your phone happened to be on a screen, and somehow with the way you were talking or walking, you pressed the button and didn't realize it.
You didn't butt dial, you gut dialed? No.
Yeah, pretty much I gut dialed.
But you're talking about the ladder match between them, which is like the You don't know you don't know what I'm talking about where I say old school Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon.
Did they have more than one?
I don't think so.
Oh, then yes.
Well, shut the fuck up. But it's like what everybody says is like the first ladder match in WWE because it wasn't the first ladder match. Like
was it WWE's first ladder match?
No, it wasn't. Is what I'm saying.
Oh.
Like they say that it's the first ladder match because I think it was really the second. And it was like the one that got like the most notoriety and was an amazing match. But it was one of them things where it was like not the first ladder match. I even looked on something trying to see, and I think it said the first technical ladder match in WWE was between Shawn and Bret, I believe. And then I think they said it was in '92. I think so. And then a few years later, they were like, no, we had this match, and they were like, we're just gonna forget that happened because this one's amazing and it's close enough to say that. Shh. Revisionist history like a motherfucker, but WWE never does that. So, what was I gonna say? What were we talking about? I could just start talking about a whole lot of niche shit anyway with battle rap because it's actually about to be a really good. By this time, it will already have happened, but it's about to be like one of the last grudge matches left in battle rap about to happen, and I could just start waxing poetic about how much I want to see it, but you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
As long as one rapper goes and gets two rappers, and
I knew you were gonna say that,
get three.
I knew you were gonna say that when the way you started talking. I knew you were about to say that shit.
3 rappers get 4 rappers. No rappers come and see me. 4 rappers. I don't remember because it's been a while. I was gonna say 4 rappers get 5 rappers, but I don't think it goes that far. It's like 3 rappers get 4 rap. No, 2 rappers get 3 rappers, and 3 rappers get 4. 4 rappers get 5 rappers, and they get Bo or something like that. But yeah.
What's his name?
Solo.
I remember I showed you and Ibn, my big bro.
Funniest shit in my life for a while.
I showed a few people that battle is notorious because you don't even remember what Swave 7, his opponent, said. That battle is.
He said a lot of stuff that was better and more insulting.
He was actually battling.
Yes. Yes. I will agree.
But nobody remembers what the fuck he said because Solo was just saying, like, it was like, bro, what are you talking about?
He was that's the whole logistics plan.
The way he was rapping, like the voice. Okay, so for y'all don't know, which is pretty much everybody. You can go ahead and look this battle up, and I'm dead serious. Look the battle up, whether you care about battle rap or not. Go ahead and look up. I forget how far in it is. I think it might be the second round of O Solo, but the battle is O Solo, which is the letter O dash SOLO versus this dude Swave 7, SWAVE, second word SEVAH. And it was like back in 2012, and O Solo at one point, he didn't say rappers, but O Solo all time is rapping in this voice, and he's and there's one part where he says, one nigga bring 2 niggas, and 2 niggas bring 3. 3 niggas bring 4 niggas. 4 niggas come and alert me.
They come and alert me.
2 niggas bring 3 niggas, and 3 niggas bring 4. 4 niggas bring 5 niggas, and 5 niggas bring more. And it was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Everybody in that venue was like, the fuck are you talking about, man?
And this I just like the video someone did on YouTube where they were like, "No, I don't think y'all understand." They're like, "I don't think you understand just the logistics of how many people he's actually getting." And I thought that was funny in and of itself.
They did a whole like offshoot diagram where they were like, if one dude brought 2, and then 2 of them each brought 3, and then 3 of them each brought a 4,
just to come and alert him. Then 2 others bring 3 and they each bring 4. And each of those 4 bring 5.
They had a picture graph to show you this.
Yeah, they're like, and all of them bring more. So how are you gonna win? How are you gonna win against all of these?
That shit was hilarious. But like I said, it was supposed to be like his comeback battle, And it was like, apparently he's a legend, which apparently he is a legend. I don't know. I had never heard of him. Doesn't mean just because I hadn't heard of him, he ain't a legend. I'm just saying I hadn't heard of him to be able to attest to his legendary status, unfortunately.
I hadn't heard
but,
of him.
But either way, apparently he's supposed to be a legend, but he came back and he did that. And it was like, what the fuck? And then the whole time he battled, he had one of his like headphones in, like, and the other one hanging off. And it was just like, hey, man, do you, but who battles with a headphone in? Like, are you listening to some shit? Like, it was just weird. And then there was one part in the battle where he's like, something. Now, you know what? I'm going to go to my other stuff. Like, while he's rapping, I'm going to go to my other stuff. He's like, something. No, I'm going to go back to that. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, he definitely did not come prepared. No matter how many rappers. No matter how many rappers he may have been referencing, he ain't come prepared.
Rap, but there's definitely some moments in battle rap where people didn't. And I mean,
wasn't it a dude that came out dressed like Mortal Kombat characters and doing fatalities on people, or something along those lines?
I think I showed you that, right?
Yeah.
Who was that fucking dude? Benji Lolo, that was his name. He's not so.
Name.
Yeah, well, it's some fucking names in battle rap. Like, you got New Jersey Twerk, you got Sheed Happens.
His name's Rashid.
What else? You got Rum Nitty. Like, and these are big names. Like, motherfuckers be having some names. There was one person, one time, that was a woman in one of the British leagues. And this woman, white girl, only one time, this had to just be like, seriously, like doing this shit to be cute. I don't know. But her name was Deep Throat Thug.
Okay. She wanted you to know. Did she have a deep voice? Could that be even more hilarious?
I don't remember shit from anything except that there was actually a battle rapper named Deep Throat Thug.
I'm just saying, it'd be funny if she had a deep voice, and so it's like the double entendre there. You think she's referencing one thing, and then she just comes out like, I'm gonna shoot a motherfucker in his motherfucking face.
It would be real jarring. Have a voice like that. Yo. And then she was talking about some grimy shit like that too. I'm gonna shoot a motherfucker in the like, hey, what the hell? Hey. But no, I was saying motherfuckers that said some shit in battle rap. Like there was this one dude named Ness who is really fucking good. He did this on beat battle where he started rapping and he rapped on beat and it was some of the best shit. But anyway, this motherfucker came back and he was saying some shit where, again, it's another battle in 2012 that he did against a dude named DNA, who was, you know, they both legends in the battle rap culture. But the battle is like good to watch just for like all the wrong reasons, because you want to see how Ness is tripping, because he kept being like, man, y'all came to boo me, but he was saying shit like, what do you say? He's like, man, y'all came to boo me, man. He's like, I come through like a dinosaur, you know that. He's like, I come through like a dinosaur. He was saying some wild shit. This motherfucker one time said some shit like, y'all crazier than crazy glue. Y'all nuts like cashews. Like, they were actually saying that, somebody said on Twitter, like, what's some of the worst battle rap bars? And this dude said some shit like, I wake niggas up in this rap game. I am a rooster.
And then he followed up with, come suck my cock.
No.
Because, you know, rooster, cock.
He actually made
suck my cock or I'll get the Glock.
He actually made it work where he said something like, I am a rooster. And he was something like, I flip, you know, something like hustle, whatever. I am a booster. Like, you know, hustle.
Gotcha.
You know,
I'm a rooster. I got my Glock cocked. I'll shoot you like a booster. COVID-19, 187. You ain't no dog. You ain't going to heaven.
Battle rap is the shit. No, I was gonna say battle rap is the shit, but there's a lot of what's the word? Hyper masculinity, so to speak, in battle rap. So you couldn't even probably say something like that without the whole venue saying, pause, B, pause, bro. So yeah. But anyway, nah. If you want a battle rap, man, you trying to drop bars, dog. You know, hey, you over here talking about 187s, 781. I throw out more numbers until you done. You over here acting like you ain't my son. Well, bitch, I'm your stepfather. So ain't no more fun?
Sure.
Oh, you ain't gonna come back?
No, that was your comeback. I'm gonna talk about other niche shit because I'm admit there's a reason. You just heard my previous line. That's why I don't do the battle rap and stuff. I'm just talking about COVID booster shots. Well, all dogs go to heaven. Like
I clearly if I was like
I know you weren't serious either.
No, I'm saying if I tried, hopefully I would be better than that.
Gotcha. But freestyle's never been my strong suit. Without me going to violent things and topics.
Before I started writing, I feel like just playing around, I feel like my freestyle was like cool, you know, pretty decent. And then when I started writing, I feel like my freestyle suffered for a minute. And then I had to get to a point where I kept writing and get my freestyle better. And now they're both decent. So, yeah. It was like, yeah, you over here trying to throw barbs and throw hands with the great one. Don't even know that everything that you're doing is not for fun. I don't know. Anyway.
I was like, oh, how's it going to rhyme with great one?
I mean, I could have said great one, like say something. You know.
Fair. Speaking of niche topics and videos and legends of niche topics, I mentioned earlier that I'm wearing a shirt referencing a fighting game tournament.
What do you say, Daigo?
I actually was going to talk about Mr. Umehara. Yes, Daigo, actually.
Man, everybody talks about Daigo.
Daigo is awesome. Daigo's
I'm not saying Daigo ain't the shit.
But what's most hilarious to Daigo?
Every time you hear people talk about legend shit with fighting games, that's like the one name you hear.
Well, I like talking about Justin as well. Justin Wong.
Anyway, go ahead.
But something I was just laughing at recently involving Mr. Umehara. It was this habit he has of falling asleep at tournaments.
Really?
Yeah, just out just anywhere. He can sleep anywhere. And like someone was talking about something he did in a recent tournament that really smart, plays the game too much moment. I'm not going to go into all the details, but it was one of those things that seemed cool. And then when people broke down the science behind everything that happened into that moment, it was like, Jesus Christ, why are you that prepared for that kind of situation? And then actually hit it accurately in tournament, you know what I mean, with all that going on in the spur of the moment. But they laughed because they mentioned, like, they showed a video from like 2005 or something where someone was at an Evo or something and they went outside and they just see, like on a picnic table, Daigo just kind of passed out. Just laying on the table, and he eventually just gets up and starts like walking back to the venue, just possibly hungover. Just they're like, yep, and he still does those walks to this day. And then he cuts to like some other thing where like 2003, 2004, I think it was Alex Valle at a tournament. Like, here's all these people that are here, and oh, look over there. On the floor, just sleeping. There's Daigo. When he's not beating people in matches, he's just sleeping on the floor.
Oh, that's something that happens often.
Oh yeah, he just goes to sleep. There was a tournament where he had set, like, because Sajam, one of the commentators, was talking about like how he was like going through like, you know, the main floor of the tournament, goes over near one section of the audience where there's like 5 seats. Just like, you know, kind of separated from other ones, or maybe not 5, but a few seats separated from other ones. There's some shoes on the floor, and apparently they're like Daigo's own like shoes. And on the chair, Daigo has just gone to sleep, and literally somebody walks over to him like, "Hey, you got a match," and so he just puts on his shoes, gets up, goes to play his match, and I think he wins too. And then, like, I think probably goes back and falls asleep waiting for his next match. And it's like, God damn.
uh 2016-ish maybe, where him and Lupe Fiasco played a fighting game
Yeah.
together.
Where Lupe beat him, but there's a lot of people that are like either A, Lupe actually is secretly godlike, but he seemed just as surprised that he won as Daigo did. So a lot of other people say Daigo thought it was 3 out of 5 instead of 2 out of 3. So he's like, why the fuck not? Let him get like 2 wins, haha, and then blah blah blah. Which is why Daigo looked so surprised when Lee won. Like, wait, we're not gonna keep going. They're like, nah, we're cutting it off at 2 out of 3. He's like, oh, whatever. I'm Daigo.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I just remember when he won and Lupe was like, bowing to him and like thanking him.
No business beating Daigo.
Well, no,
based on his play style in that particular match. I'm not gonna say Lupe's not a great fighting game player. He's probably better than me, but that's not that much of an accomplishment.
I was just gonna say, without even really remembering the match in and of itself, or even have watched the whole match at the time, I find it hard to believe that Daigo would lose to Lupe, because that would be like them two getting on the same track and then fucking Daigo bodying Lupe in the verse. Like, it's like, come on, like, oh gee, Daigo, Lupe Fiasco featuring Daigo. Oh man, Daigo bodied Lupe on this track. Like, no, dude, like that don't sound right. Maybe Daigo got bars. I don't know. Maybe he does. But come on. That's like, Lupe is good at playing games and fighting games, but come on, man. Like it's when this is how you make your livelihood, most likely, and you spend all of your time, damn near your waking hours, either doing said thing or studying said thing, either preparing for and or executing said thing and trying to do it on a high level, which Lupe does do on a high level if you really listen to what he says. Lupe is like my main inspiration with writing. But Daigo does the same with fighting games in most of his waking hours, and that's how he makes his living and all that shit. So it just, maybe Lupe actually beat him, but it just wouldn't sound like it.
Exactly.
And that's like, I also say, like, if they hopped on the track and you told me Daigo had the best verse, I'd be like, I'm sorry, what?
He might. Dude over here then speaking again, Japanese. What do I know?
Maybe Daigo got bars though.
You're right.
Maybe Daigo got bars. Shit.
Maybe.
And then maybe motherfucking I'm gonna grow 5 more inches and be 6 feet tall before I end up passing. Like, yeah, okay. No, let me not talk shit.
All over here, Sagashimono.
Let me not talk shit that
Sagashi ni Yukunosa.
I know you saw the Elite versus New Day.
Oh, game wise, yes. I'm like, when did they have a match?
They never wrestled each other.
I was like, when did they have a match? Was that something this past week? Because that would have been quite a feat, considering what's his name, Big E, also injured himself. Shout outs to Big E.
Yeah, it
got a neck injury, but hey, at least he only broke his neck and didn't like break a spine in his neck.
Permanent damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, I mean, who's to say? Well, this is getting like too far wrestling, but who's to say that he might have to alter his wrestling style going forward? But that's to be decided when he finally comes back to the ring.
Hopefully, he stops doing suicide dives. His big ass don't need to be doing those anyway.
Hey, Luchasaurus ass over here hitting moonsaults.
His big ass don't need to be. Oh, moonsaults. Yeah, speaking of big ass motherfuckers doing moonsaults, I was there in Orlando when Lance Archer tried to do one. Everybody dies. Yeah, he was almost everybody.
Oh, you were there when Lance Archer hit the moonsault
and landed on his fucking head?
Yeah. He had to be gone for a minute?
Yeah, that was
saw that live?
Yeah.
Shit.
At the night that AEW fan base officially turned on Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Because Orlando started booing him, and that shit continued until he left the company.
Yeah. Without going too far wrestling-wise, though, because, speaking of niche shit, speaking of Cody Rhodes, though, do you watch Go Big Show?
Why is Big Show not on the Go Big Show? That was one of my main complaints.
How many people have said this?
His name is Big Show! And he works for AEW now.
Well, no, he does, right? The funny thing is, the argument that you could probably make, but it's not true, could be, well, maybe he's just not charismatic enough. It's like, no. If you ever see Paul White in an interview and seen that man, that dude
walking
is a
charisma.
Dude.
The man is 7'2", 500 pounds of charisma.
He really is. So no, you could have it.
No, now allegedly it was intended to be Paul White on the show, but AEW was like, no, let's get Cody tonight because it's Cody.
Oh, well,
only for Cody to get pissed off that the fans were booing him and then leave and go back to WWE. Allegedly. That's the rumors as of, our current date pre-WrestleMania, pre any announcement that Cody may or may not be back with WWE. Allegedly, he will be fighting at WrestleMania, possibly against Mr. Rollins, who's pulling his John Cena impersonation of how can I, a mere multi-time champion, get a match at WrestleMania?
That's what I'm saying. We're not going too much into wrestling. But no, as well, Go Big Show, I want to like it more than I do because of what they do on there. I think the fact that it's not live and the fact that it was shot during a pandemic, so they couldn't really have an audience for real, hurts it. But it is a cool show, but the main thing that hurts this shit is it's not live. So the fact that it's not live and it's pre-recorded like it is and, taped and edited and all that stuff, it doesn't feel important. Nothing on that show, as a viewer, could just be my heathen ass. But as a viewer, I think the main thing that hurts it is a lot of shit that fucks it up is nothing on there really feels that important as, like, say, watching America's Got Talent. And you're like, oh, shit, this is like, oh, my God, something could happen. And these people are really trying to get a show in Vegas and $250,000 or $1 million. Oh, my God.
I've seen 2 full episodes of the Go Big Show.
I've seen a few episodes.
One was earlier of what I'm assuming was this most recent season, where they involved some things, and it's like, oh, dude, this dude's flipping over bulls. That's pretty godlike. He can stay. Chick on some giant flame wheel. Okay, I get why she went to the second round. Then they had some little kid doing like parkour. He failed his tricks like twice, and they still sent his ass to the second round. And we're like, I'm sorry, what? Luckily, that kid didn't make it to the finals, but we totally thought he was gonna, because we were calling bullshit when he beat whoever it was. They're like, okay, come on now. And then I saw the finals of that season, where we had Bull Flipper, we had Chick Flame Wheel, we had a motorcycle, motocross back flipper dude, and we had Professor Splash, a 60-plus-year-old man that jumps off of shit. Well, motorcycle dude goes first, does some tricks. He goes for like a no-handed backflip, a no-hand this. He tries to do a no-handed backflip into no-handed lander. Fucking messes up with the landing, and by messes up the landing, I mean he puts a hand on the handlebar slightly too early, because at the end of the day, doing a no-handed backflip into landing without using your hands is fucking terrifying, and I don't necessarily blame him. At the same time, that's the trick you told us you were gonna do, so I'm gonna have to drop you some points on that one. Anyway, especially because he went up against Chick Flame Wheel, who decided not to have a flame wheel, but to do a blindfolded tightrope walk on a burning tightrope. Where halfway while crossing said burning tightrope, she just stopped and did a split, only to get up and finish crossing the tightrope. Now, I think that's pretty fucking ridiculous. But, whatever. The way they were doing the scoring, it was like, dude on a motorcycle got a 96. She got a 98. And I'm like, well, she didn't fuck up the trick, I get it. Then comes Professor Splash, who is, like I said, a diver. He decided to dive from like 26.5 feet into 10 inches of water. Into water that was 10 inches deep. And for shits and giggles, he set the water on fire before doing so, because everybody set shit on fire in that show, especially on that last episode, except for Bull Flipper. But Professor Splash got a 99. You know, had a 96, 98, 99. Then we get Bull Flipper, man. He flips over bulls. It's like Matador fighting, but instead of, I got a cape and you run into a wall or whatever they do in Matador fights, he flips over the bulls that are charging at him. Which is pretty fucking cool, because you could fuck that up and injure yourself. In fact, the first episode that he did it in, he got hit on one of those, but he got up and tried it again. He got a 100 at the end. I didn't think his was as awesome as Professor Splash's. I'm like, he set a fucking world record for a height dive at age 65 into a pool of flaming fire. And the thud that you hear, because it wasn't that wide of a pool of 10-inch water either. It was like enough for his ass to fit into. And it was just a little, pow, just a thud and everything. So he got a 99. Bull Flipper got 100, just enough to win. They just coincidentally happened to go 96, 98, 99, 100 in that order with the scoring. And then I got like a text afterwards that's like a lot of something involving bullfighting and rodeos is like one of the main sponsors of the show. And at which point I was like, okay, come on now. I commend the guy for flipping over bulls, especially since it looked like he had injured his knee on his final go. But come on now. I think old man diving like he did was a little bit more ridiculous.
I've never seen like a finale of the show, but I've seen a few episodes, and I will say that one thing about it too is you can, for the most part, like I didn't see the finale, but for the most part leading up to it, you can basically tell kind of, at least if not on the money, around where they're gonna score the people. Like you can be like, oh, he's gonna get like an 85, and then you might get like an 83.
Oh yeah.
You can pretty much tell.
The parkour kid beat a guy who was juggling, but had like a piano thing in front of him. So as he juggled, he was playing the piano, and he even played T-Pain's "All I Do Is Win, 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 No Matter What," blah blah blah. And it's like, oh, you shouldn't even get the brownie points with T-Pain being there, because T-Pain got up and like started like rapping along with it, because why not? It's his fucking song, and then scored the guy low and was like, nah, I like Parkour Kid better. But Parkour Kid fucked it up. This dude played a song, and each round you're supposed to go bigger. And I wanted to see where Juggle Guy would go bigger. How do you do that? How are you playing? Are you fucking... You got shit set up over here, other pads just tossing? Who knows? I don't know how he would have gone bigger, but I would have cared more about some guy who successfully pulled off his act playing songs with juggling. I wanted to see how he improved on that more so than a guy who did mediocre parkour and fucked that up.
Well, I wish they shout to the judges too. They got they had Cody Rhodes, right? I mean, they probably still will have Cody at least for like a season.
We'll see.
But the Cody Rhodes, I gotta look at more country, man. I don't be knowing what's going on with country, but shout out to Jennifer Nettles. I love her with her fucking country accent. I just got to notice her off the show.
That's the white chick that's the judge on the show?
Yeah, I just got to notice her off of this show. Like I never knew her before, but she seemed like such a little like fun little sweetheart type lady. Anyway, Rosario Dawson, and they had Snoop for a season. And now they replaced.
That's right. It was Snoop season 1. That's why he came on AEW.
They replaced a black hip hop legend with a black hip hop legend in the making. Replace Snoop with T-Pain. But anyway, speaking of replacing people, don't replace us. Go ahead, actually, and put us in your lives. Keep us in your lives. And what better than the replica is the original. So if you would like to go ahead and follow us on our socials to stay up with, all our OG-ness, then you can go ahead and follow us on our socials. Like I said, as far as my Facebook, at this point, I may have recreated one. No, I didn't get it back. No. At this point, I may have recreated one, but as of recording, which by the time this goes up, this statement will be moot. But as of recording this, I have 2 days until my Facebook gets deactivated permanently. So there's no way I'm getting my Facebook back. Yeah, old Facebook got hacked, and there you go. Fuck hackers, people are dicks. But yeah, at this point I may have recreated one. So hopefully you could find Superjaz on Facebook by this point. If you can, it will be spelled Superjaz. You can definitely find on Twitter and follow Superjaz2, which would be Superjaz number 2. And then, of course, you can go ahead and find definitely on Instagram and follow Forever Superjaz, the word forever spelled correctly. And as I mentioned a little bit, I do rap. So if you would like to hear my offerings anywhere you stream your music, you can go ahead and look for my debut solo album that I dropped in October, which is called My Secret Identity. You may have to punch in Superjaz, My Secret Identity, because I'm not so famous yet. If they want to follow you and all your OG tidings, where can they find you, man?
Well, first of all, you can find me here every week, every Wednesday on the Whatever We Want podcast. You can also find me elsewhere on YouTube under feogrande. That's Feo Grande, all one word. You can also find me on Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on through, stop on by, maybe post an emote of this little guy. Yeah.
And you said you ain't got bars.
I don't.
And you said you ain't got bars.
I said I don't have freestyle bars. Give me some time. I'm like Batman.
Well, based off of this and based off of that, we might be done now with our little raps. But whether it's grit or whether it's grime, what the fuck are we gonna talk about next time?
Whatever we want.
Be nice to yourself, everybody.
Adios.
Peace.